Yay!
Ooh, I saved you. Did you see that? Ooh. Alright, so today I'm going to kind of just show you some simple logic gates and basic redstone circuitry. And just give you kind of an idea of what they do and why they do it and why you might want to use it. Um, I'm not going to show you the very basics of redstone. There's plenty of videos on YouTube explaining that. I watched several, but if I had to recommend one, I would recommend Avomance. I've watched several different people try to explain redstone, and it didn't really click until I watched his. So I'll throw a link in the description to his channel or his videos on redstone, and you can just go watch them. But let's get right to it. This is a NOT gate. Okay, all it does is invert a signal. You push the button, it's not powered. Otherwise, it is. And fairly simple, fairly simple. What you might want to do with this is if you've seen semi-automatic wheat farms, it's just really basic here. Push it, let the water out. I have entities turned off, so nothing's going to show up there, but for showing purposes, we'll go ahead and put it back. But yeah, you can use that to invert any signal that you need to. I'm going to skip over this one because I feel like I put these two in the wrong order. This is an OR gate. It sends out a signal if you hit this one, or if you hit this one. Thus, why it's called an OR gate. It doesn't matter if one are on or both are on, if I can hit them both. Geez. And I couldn't really think of anything to use for this one, so I just did like a little archery range. Even though those arrows will take a minute to despawn. It doesn't care which one. It's going to light up your little indicator, but yeah, you can... Oh, and another thing. Where these buttons are, you can run any signal you want into this. So long as this block is powered, it'll work. And this is an AND gate. There will be no... let me just show you just a basic. If for some reason you need to screenshot it for any reason. That was the OR gate over the... Oh, goodness, I broke it. That was the OR gate. This is an AND gate. It won't input power, or won't output power unless both inputs are active. See, both of those are turned on. Turn one off? No. Two off? No. This one? No. This one? No. Okay. And what you might want to use that for is if, say, you don't want your door to open just one way, you can have a second input. They both have to be on. I didn't put a whole lot of work into my examples here. You can hide them or do whatever you want with them. But, oh, screenshot material. That is a torch on the two that you need to power, and then a torch off the back. This one, I really like this one. This is an XOR gate. If one is powered, it's happy. They say, okay, I'll do it. But if both are, nada. No, sir. It doesn't care which one. And what I like doing with this is if, say, you have a piston door or even just an iron door, you can open it, tie that in with an XOR, and you can close it behind you. Really nice way to do that. And those didn't really need much, but to be fair, this one doesn't either. Like I said, the inputs that I'm using can be replaced with any other input. It's just two comparators right beside each other, both with their little doodah flipped. and some redstone behind them, to the side, and in the front. And that will be your XOR gate. And this is, well, an RS NOR latch. I couldn't really think of an example, but I was watching Mumbo and he used one, and so this is my redstone world. This is what I use to go back and reference different circuits if I can't remember them for some reason. What this one does is, you see I push this button, it's powered, but I push it again, nothing happens. Nothing happens. Nothing's going to change until I push this button, such as this. And some screenshot material if you need that. Okay. These are just some basic logics. I have them over here, which is where we're going to head next. But as you can see, it's kind of crowded. I didn't have room to put examples in, so I just moved them over there. The rest, I think, are pretty basic. I didn't think they needed examples. But next we'll go ahead and move over to monostable circuits. This is your basic one that you're going to see most places. You got your redstone dust, a block with a piston, a repeater, and I use pistons as an output to test because I can see and hear them. But you push it, see that little dude just goes crazy. And like I said, you're going to see him most places. It seems to be what most people use. So there's that dude. And if for some reason you don't want it to extend up 3 high, you can do it like this, and this is just more or less the same thing but turned sideways. You got this one. This repeater is set to 2 ticks, sorry. 2 ticks, and then 1 tick on the one that conducts through, which has another repeater coming this way. I think you can replace this with dust, I'm not sure. Let's see. Yeah, you can put dust there. And like I said, these are all monostable circuits, so they're just going to reduce your pulse length. Both of these are rising edge, which means they happen as soon as you push the button. And this guy, I really like this guy. However, he is a falling edge monostable circuit, which as you see, doesn't happen until the button comes back, till the end of the signal. And it's just a torch coming out the back, and dust here. And what these are really good for, I like using these for example, if you want to pull 1 item out of a hopper at a time, push the button, there goes 1 item. Push it again, 2 items. I use this in my jukebox. I might show you my jukebox, I don't know. Not today. Not today. If you want to see the jukebox, leave a comment. It's not pretty, and I have no intentions of making it pretty, so you'll just have to look at it all ugly like. And this monostable circuit makes use of locking repeaters. So I've got a repeater here going into your output where you're wanting it to go. And then the repeater behind it I've got set to 2 ticks. And then your input, which goes into that and also comes around and goes into this one with just 1 tick, which will lock this repeater. And it's going to unlock before this is done outputting, so it's going to give you just another 1 tick pulse, just like the rest of these. But this one is also falling edge. Generally, most people look for rising edge monostable circuits. So this one is a comparator going into your output, and a repeater going into the side of the comparator, and redstone dust going around, and I put my input here. These are actually what I use most of the time, simply because they just, I don't know, they seem smaller, and I generally have repeaters and comparators to spare. So It's also rising edge. Ooh, and another note. I'm on Bedrock. I cannot guarantee that all of these will work on Java. I don't know. I've not tested them all. I don't play Java very often, mainly on Bedrock. This one's also rather simple. It's just an input device here, a piston that pushes an observer into another piston, and that's going to give you your 1-pulse tick. Boop. See there? Boop. And this one is similar to this one over here in that it's powered until you hit the button. But yeah, this one is rising edge instead of falling edge. And a tidbit more complicated. However, as I said before, rising edge is generally more helpful. So here's block, block, torch, torch, dust. And your output goes right here. I know there are probably more monostable circuits, but these are just what I reference for myself if I can't remember or decide which one I want to use. So we'll move over into T flip-flops. And this one is a dropper and hopper. I believe they're droppers. Yeah, droppers. Droppers and hoppers. So what you got is somewhere in here. Yeah, you got a lamp in there. And I push the button. It's going to shoot it up and over, and I don't know how exactly it works, where they go. But if I push the button, it's going to put it over here, and then there's a comparator behind it. It's going to pull the signal out. If you don't know what a T flip-flop is, it more or less turns a button or a pulse of signal into a solid signal. Like I like to say, I like to call it turning a button into a lever, because I hate levers. I don't know why. So I will always have T flip-flops. And this, to be fair, this is generally the one I use, simply because it's simple and I don't have to remember a whole lot. This one is one that makes use of locking repeaters. Let me just go up above where you can see it. This one's set to 1 tick, 4 ticks going into a block, and then 4 ticks going out of the torch. I'll let you sit there and look at how that's placed. And a note on this one, you have to use a stone button. The way that the timings are worked out, you have to use a stone button. However, if you don't have, if you don't want to use all the iron to make hoppers, or, oh, I don't know. I don't know what your justification will be, but if you just want to use this one, it does exist. You can. And this one, I've seen this one. This one's been around since the olden days. However, it doesn't seem to work on here. Sorry. At least not with a button or any other input that I've tried, except for an observer. If you break an item in front of it, or place an item in front of it, that one tick pulse. So I imagine any monostable circuit placed in front of this would probably do fine. However, this is my reference. I didn't want to have a whole line of sequences just to get a T flip-flop. So this is what I'm using for showing. You see the observer back here, or not observer, goodness. The piston back here goes down, and it goes up, and it goes down, and he does a dance, and he's happy. And one of the even older ones, oh boy, it's a boat with pressure plates. And just a water bucket inside. Really simple, but I always think it's fun. Hop in the boat, have a good time, have a party. I'm on a boat. Okay, enough of that. Which one would I call this my miscellaneous area? Double piston extenders. If you're on Java, you know, I'm sure, 2, 4, 0. However, on Bedrock, timings are different, and it's stupid. So I know it doesn't have to be this way. You can do it less, but this just, I kind of like the small delay. So I do 4 ticks, 8 ticks, and then 0 ticks. And it will push and pull. And if for some reason you need a screenshot, there's that. And then we have a vertical piston extender. And I personally don't really like this one. I can never remember how to do this one. But push the button, it goes up. Up. And if for some reason you decide both of these observers are facing this direction, okay. So with that in mind, if you want to, you can screenshot that right there. This first one is on 1 tick. This last one is on 4 ticks, both pointing in this direction. But like I said, I don't really like that one. That's too much for me to remember. So I just generally use this one, which is the 480. Just kind of uglify it a bit. However, it works better for me. Generally, I just put it next to a wall so I can hide this. Goes up and goes down. And again, if you want a... Oh, no, it's not. That's right. I had to put a 1 tick delay on this so that I could conduct into this block. So, yeah, screenshot if you need. If I could hit the button. Yeah, because I couldn't get signal to go into this piston when it's up here without putting a block there. Yeah. Okay. And this is real fun. I like this. If you've seen people have mass storage systems where they fill shulker boxes with items, and as soon as they're full, break the shulker box and put it into a chest and replace it. They're using a system like this, which detects when it is full. All it is a redstone block beside it, with redstone dust, comparator coming out of it, and going into your output, which is generally a piston pushing your shulker box. So, let me get where you can see this, and I've got one item. Look at me. I know how to set things up. Look at that. Ooh. It's happy. Yeah. Okay. And this one, I came across this one not too long ago, and I absolutely loved it, but I've not used it in anything I don't yet. Wow, I can't speak English. I've not used it in anything yet, I don't think. What it is a counter. 1, 2. If I push it again, this button's going to light up because it's set for 3. Okay, and what it does is you push the button, it goes into that little NOT gate thingamajig, or no, it's a monostable circuit, that's what it is. The inverted monostable circuit, I guess you could call it. And makes use of these locking repeaters. And let me just come push it, let you see it. Push it once. This one is no longer lit up. If I push it again, this one won't either. You see? So as soon as I push it again, it's going to actually release the signal and let this thing light up. And you can tile this. You can take it further. I had it on 5, but I got tired of pushing it that long just to play with it, so I moved it down to 3. I'll definitely move up for a screenshot or two, because the ones that lock are on 2, the one that doesn't lock behind them is on 4, and the ones that lock them are on 1. So here's an overhead shot. And for reference, there we go. Now let me get where you can see the grass behind it, because it provide better contrast for those torches. There you go. And you can see that torch over there too. Okay, so I didn't know what to call this, so I called this area secret activation methods. And I'm sure, you guys probably know this one. Twist it with a comparator behind it. It goes up to 8, I think, depending on how far you rotate it. A signal strength of 8. However, I just generally put a repeater on after some. And this one, same thing. You get a comparator behind the block in front of a chest. And it's currently activated. This is good if you want to have walls open up. You just pull the item out, and it goes down. Put the item back in, and it goes back up. Nice and happy. And these would be like if you're building into the wall. So, break the redstone dust, it goes down, put it back up, it goes up. And this is a lever just behind that wall. And then some repeaters coming out. And that's it. Nothing else. While I'm here, though, I need to grab a lever for the next one. This one is rather simple. Place the lever, turn on. It'll send out your signal, and it'll get rid of the lever. You can grab it back up and continue on your way. And it is literally just you're powering this block, which powers this redstone, which gives it that. And since you're powering this piston extends. So rather simple. And this one's real fun. This is just a torch behind here, and then that. And this makes use of the burnout clock. Break the redstone. It's activated. Place it down. It's going to flashy, flashy, flashy rave, and then it turns off. It's probably the simplest way, but I don't like the rave. It's going to give me a seizure. Not really, but I just like it to be quicker about it. So I just generally use this one. A little bit more stuff to it, but not much. Yeah, like I said, this is just my logic. Oh, yeah. My logic gates. I didn't include the NOR gate or the NAND gate. But that's just simply because it's an AND gate with a NOT gate on the end. And the same, an OR gate with a NOT gate on the back. You just combine that and the NOT gate. So it's really, I didn't think it really needed a dedicated spot over here. So, if you're curious, this is where I test new circuits. Goodness. This is where I test new circuits, see if they'll work. If they do, I add them somewhere in here. If not, I place TNT and blow them up because I don't like breaking them block by block because I do that and it annoys me. But yeah, hope you had a good time. See you later. Toodles.